Hello, everyone, and welcome to the behind the scenes snapshot of the Candace Buchanan project that I've been working on for quite some time. I'm your host, Carl Walker, and now that the pleasantries are done, let's go ahead and get started. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at our goals for this project, we're actually going to see here that this campaign is focused on helping the Candace Buchanan brand increase brand awareness, listenership, and reputation within the Central Florida Caribbean community. Now, we're going to actually do this by engaging the public in various social media campaigns, as far as in the community, and also within this campaign. We're going to be able to highlight the aspects of a strategic plan to engage, develop, and create a centralized voice for the Caribbean community. Now, why are we doing all this? Now, by establishing these goals, we'll solidify the Candace Buchanan Show as a premier Caribbean music and events company within the Central Florida market. Now, in focusing on our objectives for this campaign, we definitely want to increase the number of listeners of the Candace Buchanan Show by 25%. Now, the other objective is to increase the show's ads and sponsorship from local and community organizations, including mom and pop Caribbean diners and businesses, and also the Central Florida Caribbean organizations that are around the community as well. Now, another goal that we have here is to create the Caribbean community-based entertainment outlet showcasing Caribbean-centric music and concerts and news and information. Now, that's primarily based on the fact that there are various concerts held throughout the year, different events showcasing Caribbean, artists, things like that. But there's not a mainstream outlet for the Caribbean community. So that's one of our goals. Now, one of our last objectives here is to acquire more fluid mainstream time slot. Now, the time slot for the Candace Buchanan Show is actually Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, within that 2-hour time slot, we have a lot of various things that we have on the show, but one of the problems that we find is that we could reach a larger target market if we focus on time slots, maybe the 10 a.m. to 12 noon time slot, or even in the afternoon. That's when everybody's usually in their cars. And through our background research, we've realized that people actually still do listen to, the traditional radios in their cars and at home, but they also listen to different things, as far as like TuneIn Radio app, Pandora, live stream radio as well. All right. Now, looking at the strategies that we have behind this campaign too as well, is we want to develop a synergistic social media campaign. By that, we want to take all of our social media outlets and be able to talk to each other, to communicate through all of our different outlets, reaching a diverse market. In doing our research, we found that a lot of people that are on Twitter, all of our Twitter followers, not many of them are on Facebook versus using different live stream apps like Periscope, different things. So we want to be able to tackle each avenue of the social media block. With that, we also want to never forget that there is an emerging market for new applications. Things like Snapchat, which has become a prominent use in the entertainment industry, and also newer apps such as AmpMe, which is another live streaming app in which you could be able to stream music or stream a live event, and then also share it with whoever is in the area or whoever has the code to that live stream event. But that's a whole nother story. All right. The other part we want to do is create an authenticated email list for appropriate local entertainment journalists and community leaders. This is key because word of mouth is like the biggest thing ever in this industry. Now, the other thing is that when you have somebody who is an influencer in the industry, they can easily spread the word as well. And also good press. Who doesn't want good press? Okay. Now, developing a strategic reputation-based meet and greets for the public to engage fans. People like to shake hands, see you in person. I know when I was a kid growing up in South Florida, I used to listen to the radio all the time. And then when I got the chance to meet my favorite radio personalities, it was like the best thing ever. They were like a celebrity to me. So it was really great to see that. So we definitely want to make sure that this is something that is incorporated in our plan because we want to get out there and meet the community. Being that our show is a community-based radio program, we definitely want to feature, the best artists, the best entertainers, athletes, and community leaders from the Caribbean community. So that would be another one of our strategies to engage our publics and make sure we have a strong fan base. Now, looking at this campaign as a whole, we definitely want to ask ourselves, how do we get to a goal? How do we reach that attainable goal? Some of the tactics that we're actually planning on using is to create, social media contests for tickets and prizes from local sponsors. Who doesn't like free stuff? It's really cool. Okay, radio stations do it all the time. But with this, it's more, the Caribbean-based community from local, markets, local, sponsors as well, just to get the fans engaged and get them going as far as like engagement with the radio program as well as the brand itself. Now, to promote the Candace Buchanan Show, we definitely want to use all of our social media outlets and then also track and monitor those interactions through, analytic sites like Google Analytics and Hootsuite. Hootsuite's a great application for tracking your social media interactions, but also being able to send out that message from one application to all of your social media outlets. It's like the best tool ever. Okay, now we definitely want to develop more Caribbean centric concerts and events. I've realized that within the Central Florida market, there's not a lot of these events going on. Growing up in South Florida, that was like every weekend. So but there is a large population of Caribbean Americans here in the Central Florida area. Now, when we evaluate these benchmarks, we definitely looking at making adjustments throughout the time frame because, of course, this is an entertainment industry. Everything changes at the drop of a hat. Of course, we're going to be using Google Analytics and Hootsuite, like I mentioned before, to track these interactions online. Different things like mentions, tags, and direct messaging. These are key things for us as far as like interacting with our publics, but also getting constructive feedback from our publics to make changes on our radio program. Also, it's a great way to use our social media listening skills to be able to interact with those fans, but also provide them the service that they need. That's why we're here. Okay. Now, of course, the website, social media, and brand reputation is at the forefront of this campaign. So we definitely want to track those metrics, and we're going to be looking at every 6 months to reevaluate what we're doing and how it's been going over the last 6 months, make adjustments as necessary. But of course, adjustments are still going to be made on a continual basis, based on things like, simple as using a new piece of technology, like a new application, like Periscope. That changes a lot of our dynamics. So we definitely want to evaluate that at that time and then make adjustments as necessary. Some of the graphs that are displayed here on the screen are actually from our reputation management survey that we conducted last month. And in result of that survey, we found that my client Candace Buchanan has a strong reputation within the Caribbean market, within the context of her fan base, and also community leaders as well. So with that, we definitely want to keep that on the evaluation front when it comes to her reputation versus what's on the radio show and everything that's being put out there as far as content and created media. So now I just want to thank you guys for your time. If you do have any questions, feel free to email me with any questions at cwalker159 at fullsail.edu or link up with me at any of the social media outlets below at cwalker159. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.